Yo, what is up YouTube? Thanks so much for clicking on this video today. If you're returning to this channel, welcome back. If you're new to this channel, thanks for stopping by. My name is Nicholas Fasciola. I talk a lot about AI, data science, Python, and other computer science related subjects. Here I'm doing something a little bit different than what I normally do today. I normally like to talk about AI and walk through either a lecture or a data science problem. But instead today, what I'm going to be looking at is a potential side hustle that many of you may have already know if you clicked on this video, or you may not know it. That's okay too. But that side hustle that I'm going to be talking about today is called Outlier.ai. What is Outlier.ai and why am I even talking about it today? Well, Outlier.ai is essentially a platform that promises flexible work opportunities for different subject matter experts in order to help them train up their own generative AI models. So depending on where your skill set lies, whether you're a coder, a data scientist, a writer, you're bilingual, things like that, Outlier.ai has a different range of opportunities that may suit your particular skill set. But like all things, there are a lot of pros and cons to consider on whether or not working on Outlier.ai is the correct choice for you. So I'm here today to maybe shed some light on those of you looking into doing some research on Outlier.ai and trying to help you make that decision on whether or not this is the right platform for you. So without further ado, let's take a look. So if you want to get started on Outlier.ai, the first thing you're going to want to do is come over to this link. Probably the easiest one that they could possibly have based on their name. It's literally just Outlier.ai. And once you come over to this link, you'll be brought to this home page where you can see there's a frequently asked questions section. You can log in or view opportunities. I'm going to scroll down a little bit here before I actually log in and just share with you guys what opportunities they have available. So as I said, this is intended for a different variety of subject matter experts, not just programmers like myself. This is made for generalists. We have mathematicians, chemists, law, history, coders, data scientists, and 30 others. So if you're wondering if whether or not your skill set is suited to even be eligible to work on Outlier.ai, I would come over here and check out these different domains that they have, or you can just consider yourself a generalist and there might be some work out there for you. So after you've decided what subject matter area best suits your skill set, the next thing you're going to have to do before you can even take on any projects is onboarding. So let me scroll down here where they talk about onboarding a little bit. And as you can see, they say each domain's onboarding process looks a little different. Most require you to submit a resume and pass a screening exam to demonstrate your competence in that topic area. Some may even require a virtual interview as well. So for me, I did the coding onboarding. I did not have to do a virtual interview. And to be honest, I will say the onboarding isn't even really what I think you would expect from a coding standpoint. So you're not going to be getting asked like leak code questions or anything like that. Really what the coding exam entailed was to evaluate prompts given to an LLM that involved code, and then I was supposed to read the output of what the prompt gave and then rate the model's response. In other words, did it solve the coding problem correctly? Did it not? And why? So really they're just looking to see if you can do basic reasoning and basic reading and writing with correct grammar and things like that. So as far as how long it takes, I'd say it takes about 2 hours for me, and that was 2 hours of locking in, looking at the screen, and getting everything done. So if you have a lot of stuff going on around you, it might take a little bit longer, or you might even be a little bit faster than me. It just depends. You do get paid for the onboarding, so give me 1 second and let me pull up something so I can show you guys here. So I wanted to pull up the email that I got from Outlier the first time that I got paid. So this was the $108 check I actually got after completing onboarding. And as you can see, it's been paid by Remo Tasks. So if you're interested in looking up the company who actually manages the money and the payment for Outlier.ai, that's what you're going to want to look into right there, is remote tasks. I haven't looked into them too much myself, so I don't know what I can say about their ethics policies, things like that. Now, I will say there is a caveat here. This $108 looks pretty good for onboarding, but one thing that I will note, and I know other people just looking on Reddit have had kind of a similar experience to me, is that they kind of, like all of these platforms do, they kind of lure you in early with some better money, some better earnings, but then once you start to make money, it becomes a little bit harder to get paid the same. So for me, they kind of toss me between projects, and sometimes I'll end up doing onboarding for a particular project that may take me a couple hours and you don't get paid for it. And then I fail the quiz that qualifies me to work on that project and then end up wasting 2 or 3 hours for essentially no money. So that is something you need to consider if you're looking at it just on the aspect of time spent to value return. So now here's the qualifications that they list out. They say candidates should have a deep expertise in the domains of focus that they are applying for. Honestly, I think if I was a college student, again, as undergraduate CS student, I would absolutely apply for something like this, even though I don't technically have the preferred qualifications that they're asking for, which are graduate students and PhD holders of the domain. Realistically, I haven't really encountered anything that's quite at that level where I think you would need a master's degree for it. So I think as long as you are working towards becoming an expert in the subject that you are applying for, I'd say you should be good to go. I don't think you need any hard qualifications such as like a degree or anything like that in order to do this job. Next is the pay. They talk about competitive rates are set based on the domain of your focus. So they lure you in by saying it's $30 an hour. Not all projects actually are $30 an hour. I've had some that even go as low as 15, but I haven't seen anything lower than that. So really it depends on how well you do at your work and what projects they have available for the people that are excuse me, for the amount of people that are on the platform at any given time. And then as far as hours go, there's no set hours that you have to work. Most of the time, from what I see on Reddit, is that people actually don't get enough hours and not too much. So there's no minimum that you have to work. And there's also no maximum that you can work. It really just depends on how much work they're giving to you at the time that you're working on the platform. So really it just depends on you and your situation. I would say if you're looking at this to be a full-time job, absolutely this is not a good idea. You're not going to get a consistent 40 hours of work a week. But if you're looking for a little extra thing that you can do 5 to 10 hours a week, I'd say generally, at least in the coding sector, generally it gives me enough work that I can contribute to it that much and make some extra money on the side. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys my dashboard a little bit, just and give you an actual look into the platform and what it would be like once you pass onboarding. So this is the dashboard for Outlier.ai, well, at least my dashboard, and this is what you will see if you do successfully complete onboarding and get assigned to a task. So for me right now, the task I'm working on is called Blue Wizards. They give each task a different name, and then underneath the name they give a bit of a description about what each task entails. So this is step-by-step math. In other words, I'm evaluating a large language model's ability to process a math question and help correct mistakes along the way in order for it to become better at solving more complex math problems. This is just the task I'm working on right now, but you get kind of flipped through tasks relatively quickly. Not all tasks are long term, some are, and if you happen to get into a task that is long term, absolutely hold on to that because they're a little bit few and far between, I'd say. And as I said earlier, not all tasks will give you $30 an hour. This one happens to be $30 an hour, which is great. I like that. That's why I chose it. But yes, not all the tasks are going to give you this amount of money. So really, if I wanted to start working, what I would do is click on this, and then I can go back and work on problems that get paid per hour as I work on the problem. So all these tabs on the side, these are just different components of the app. So there's the marketplace, you got different projects you can look at. You can look at your earnings history. This is missions. So what are missions? Missions are essentially bonuses that allow you to get extra money. Sometimes they'll give things like, they'll want you to work a certain amount of hours, and in order to convince you that that's what you should do, they'll offer a monetary incentive. So and they'll call that a mission. So let's say they want me to work 16 hours for a $150 mission. Well, if I work that 16 hours, I'll basically get a $150 bonus on top of whatever else I worked on. They also have a feedback tab. This is where if you evaluate things incorrectly and somebody reviews that, they'll give you this feedback tab, and they'll give you your response in this feedback tab and kind of elaborate as to why you were incorrect so that you can fix it later on. You don't want to get too much in here, because if you constantly submit incorrect results, you can actually get banned from the project you're working on, or just banned from the platform entirely if you do it way too much. And then there's the community tab. So this is actually a Slack channel. It allows you to communicate with other people working in Outlier when you need help, and they sometimes will come to your rescue if you need them, or you can just ask a general question and maybe it'll guide you into solving or figuring out a solution to the problem that you're working on yourself. And lastly, enablement. This is just some extra material that is added on to different projects. I'll click on it actually and show you. It's essentially just optional enrichment material related to projects that you've done. I never really do this, so but it is an aspect of Outlier. So, and really, that's all there is to this platform. Is it worth your time? Well, let's talk a little bit about it. So there you have it. That is Outlier.ai. If you were just coming to this video to check whether or not it was a legitimate service, then the answer is yes, it is legit. Does it actually pay you $30 an hour consistently? That's to be debated. And this leads me to the final point of the video, is that whether or not Outlier is a good fit for you. So I think personally, if you are trying to use this as your full-time job, that's not a good move. I don't think you'll get 40 hours of work consistently, and I think you're going to end up being let down if you're solely relying on this for your income. I think it's a great side hustle, or I think it's a great job to use while you're applying to jobs in your field that can maybe earn you some money in the interim. But I don't think that you want to be looking at this as a long-term full-time job. It's just not going to go well for you, my personal opinion. I think especially though, if you're like, say, a college student, this is a great way to make money during school and actually put some relevant experience on your resume. Now, I hope I was able to show you everything about Outlier.ai that you had questions on. If I missed something, or if I didn't elaborate on something, please go ahead and drop a comment below. I'll do my best to respond to every single comment that I can. And if not, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in a future video. Thanks, guys.